All AAA School Safety Patrol members need to be properly instructed in their duties and given on-the-job training before being assigned to duty. Trained patrollers are key to keeping students and school zones safer and eliminating pedestrian injuries and fatalities. Since 1920, AAA School Safety Patrollers have been keeping their classmates safe as they travel to and from school. The AAA School Safety Patrol program is the largest safety program in the world. It's praised by safety and education groups for reducing injuries and even fatalities among school children. As a AAA School Safety Patroller, you'll be adding your name to a long list of people before you who have served as patrollers. In fact, did you know that many AAA School Safety Patrollers have grown up to be U.S. presidents, governors, members of Congress, Supreme Court justices, astronauts, Olympic medalists, educators, executives, and community leaders? The patrol belt color may have changed dramatically over the years, from white to neon orange to today's fluorescent green called electric lime. But the mission remains the same: to provide a safer environment and leadership opportunities for millions of school children, students like you. Being a AAA School Safety Patroller means you have a lot of responsibility. You're part of a special team, and each of you plays a critical role. The job of a AAA School Safety Patroller is to instruct, direct, and control students crossing streets at or near schools, at school crossings, carpool areas, and bus zones. Some patrollers may also monitor school grounds and hall areas and may assist teachers and parents in the instruction of traffic safety education lessons. Your patrol advisor schedules meetings and assigns posts. Your patrol captain makes sure that all patrol posts are covered and patrol members are on time and doing their job. Some patrols also work with local law enforcement and school crossing guards. But the most important member of the team is you, the patroller, the person who ensures students get to and from school safely. A patroller always looks their best and wears their uniform correctly. You need the respect of your fellow students, and your appearance has a lot to do with that. Depending on your school, you may wear a belt, a vest, or a combination of the two. The belt should be worn snugly around the waist with the buckle in the front. The belt is worn over the right shoulder with the words Safety Patrol on the back, so students approaching you know that you are a AAA School Safety Patroller. Now, in order to perform your duties correctly, you need to understand how to do the job. So let's take a look at what it means to be at your post.
I promise to do my best to report for duty on time.
A good patroller is always on time and gets to their post early before the other students arrive. It only takes a split second for an unwatched student to be struck by a car. So if you can't be at your post because you're sick or for any other reason, be sure to contact the proper person, like your patrol captain, substitute, or your patrol advisor. This way, your post will be covered.
Perform my duties faithfully.
A good patroller is always on duty to protect their classmates, even in bad weather. Just remember to check with your patrol advisor if weather conditions are especially poor. You should never put yourself in harm's way.
Strive to prevent crashes, always setting a good example myself.
While on patrol, you should stand at least one flagpole length back from the curb or road. Hold the flag across your body, parallel to the ground, at waist height. The flag acts as a gate, helping you prevent students from crossing until it is safe to do so. Most importantly, never stop or direct traffic. Only police officers, crossing guards, or firefighters are allowed to direct traffic. Your job is to direct your classmates, not traffic. These are all important things to know to keep your school zone safe and to prevent injuries. But there's a lot more to cover. Are you ready? For the patroller working at a street corner or crosswalk, you already know where to stand and how to hold your flag. But you also need to keep the students behind you until you've judged a safe gap in traffic that will allow them to safely cross the street. A safe gap is when there's a break in traffic that allows the students to cross the street without running. When and if there is ever a police officer or a crossing guard present, they will help you and let you know when it is safe for students to cross the street. When it's up to you to determine a safe gap, here's what you'll need to know. Safe gaps are determined by how many cars are coming, how fast they're traveling, and how far away they are. It's also important to note how wide the road is, the road and weather conditions, and how long it might take for small children to cross the road. Here's how you can determine a safe gap. Get to your post early and watch the cars and their speed. When safe, walk across the street at a normal pace and count how many seconds it takes you. Being aware of how long it takes you to cross the street is very important. Another way of determining a safe gap is to choose a visual reference point, like a tree, a sign, or a driveway. Time how long it takes for a car to reach you from the visual reference point. Is it enough of a distance where students can cross safely without running? If so, it can help you judge a safe gap. Keep the children back safely and judge your safe gap. Always being alert for children ready to walk into the street, being pushed off a curb, or even bending over in the street to pick up something that they've dropped. Keep in mind, smaller children may walk at a slower pace and will need additional time to cross. Each and every time you prepare to help students cross a street, you should always look left, right, then left again for traffic. Additionally, look behind for approaching or turning vehicles. Once there is a safe gap, take 2 steps into the roadway and hold your flag in one hand at a 45-degree angle. You can use the other hand to motion students to cross. Continue to be alert and watch for cars. When you see the safe gap closing, return to your post, standing 1 flagpole length back from the curb or roadway. Holding your flag across your midsection, use it to cut off the flow of students while waiting for the next safe gap. Now, in this case, while the driver may have good intentions, patrollers should never let the students walk in front of or around a car that stops to allow them to cross. This driver may have stopped, but other drivers may try to go around or past them, causing a danger to the students. Uh-oh, now we have a bit of a problem. The patroller can't see around a parked car to see if any moving cars are coming. How would you handle this post? When your view is blocked like this, you should instruct the students to wait 1 flagpole length back from the curb like usual. Now you have to walk out into the street just far enough to see around the parked car. Using the parked car for protection, check left, right, and left again. When it's safe, you should step farther into the street where you normally stand. Holding your flag at a 45-degree angle, motioning the students to cross while you continue to check for moving cars. If you live in a colder state and there's a lot of snow on the ground during the winter, you may also encounter another type of obstructed view. Snowplows often form tall piles of snow at intersections, making it difficult to see approaching cars. After instructing the students to stay back, carefully step out into the street just far enough to see around the pile of snow. Check left, right, and left again, and when it's clear, motion to the students that it's safe to cross. Remember to continue watching for oncoming traffic. Another situation that can be difficult is when there's a hill or a curve. You may not be able to see around the curve or see what's coming over the hill. Sometimes cars approach at a very fast speed, and it's difficult to gauge their distance. In these cases, it's good to have a spotter patroller. The spotter patroller is placed at the top of the hill or at the curve. The spotter can send a signal to the patroller with the children, letting them know whether or not it's safe to allow the children to cross the street. This signal should be worked out ahead of time, and the patrollers must work as a team. Generally, both hands up in the air means that the patroller should hold the students back because traffic is coming. When the spotter patroller makes the agreed-upon all clear signal, this means that traffic is clear and it's okay to allow the students to cross the road. In some communities, AAA school safety patrollers may be asked to lead a walking school bus. A walking school bus is a planned route to and from school with scheduled meeting spots and pickup times. It's like a bus, but for pedestrians. AAA school safety patrollers serve as guides to the group by helping students walk safely, ensuring they stay on the sidewalk or the left side of the roadway, and they guide all street crossings. Some posts and street crossings are so busy that an adult crossing guard or police officer is assigned to handle traffic. In this case, the AAA school safety patroller helps by continuing to watch over their fellow students, keeping them safe until the crossing guard or police officer says it's safe to cross. Patrollers still do everything the same way with regard to their position, standing one flagpole length back from the curb, holding the flag waist high and parallel to the ground. You should continue to look for cars and stay very alert because busy posts like this can be dangerous. A signal should be worked out in advance between the patroller and the crossing guard or police officer that allows the patroller to know when to let the students cross and when to stop the students from crossing. When the crossing guard or police officer signals that it's safe to cross, you should step aside and motion for students to cross the street. Always remember that the crossing guard or police officer is the one in charge. Patrollers should always follow their direction while at their post. Some posts have a traffic light or signal to control traffic. Again, where you stand and how you hold your flag are important. When the green light faces you or the light is red in all directions, then it is probably safe to cross. However, cars may be turning right on red or attempting to try to beat the light. Some may even be driving distracted, so you have to remain very alert. Some intersections have walk, don't walk signs to help. When it's safe to cross, take 2 steps into the street. Hold your flag at a 45-degree angle and allow the children to cross the street. Always continue to be alert and watch for traffic. Safety patrollers may have a post that involves crossing students in areas where there are traffic islands or medians. Traffic islands or medians are grassy or concrete areas that separate the lanes on a street. Traffic moves on both sides of the islands or median. These streets are wide and these intersections or roads are very busy. One safety patroller should be on the island and the other should be on the corner. The patroller on the corner determines a safe gap and crosses the students to the island in the middle of the street. Now the patroller on the island must judge another safe gap and safely guide the children across the street from the island. Some traffic islands have traffic lights and maybe even crossing guards or police officers directing traffic. In these cases, patrollers must also use their training and handle the crossing with the traffic signals and the police or crossing guard. One of the busiest and most critical posts, as you may have guessed, is the one right in front of your school. Drop-off and pickup zones at schools are often stationed by AAA school safety patrollers. There's usually a lot of traffic with cars, buses, children, parents, and teachers all getting to school at the same time. You may have to monitor and help students get safely from the parking lot or the bus loop, or assist younger students entering or exiting a vehicle. Always wait for a vehicle to come to a complete stop before moving to assist students out of a car or bus. If your post is at the bus drop-off and the last person has exited the bus, be sure to help the driver check for any students who may have stayed on the bus. You want to ensure everyone made it off the bus safely. Be alert for children that may turn around and run back to their car or bus, or a student who may drop an item and try to go back and pick it up. Watch for those who may get something caught in a door, as the driver may be pulling away before the student is loose. Rain, fog, or snow may create even more problems. This is where you have to be at your best. This is a busy post with a lot going on. It's important to stay alert at all times. Above all, remember to never stop cars or direct traffic. Simply watch out for and assist your classmates. Another critical post is when a patroller is assigned duty at a school bus stop. Sometimes students arrive early at their bus stop. This can be dangerous because they can become bored and begin to play around in the street. As a bus stop patroller, you should encourage students to arrive no earlier than 10 minutes before the bus is to arrive, and preferably only 5 minutes before the bus arrives. The bus patroller must do their best to keep the students out of the street and away from the road in a safe place. Occasionally, a bus stop may be across the street from where the bus actually stops. When you see the bus, have the students line up, at least one flagpole length back from the road. This will allow students to be ready when the bus pulls up, and they can board the bus quickly and safely. Patrollers should stand by the door to assist smaller children that may need help. As the patroller, you should be the last one on the bus, making sure no belongings are left behind and that no students have been left behind either. Usually, there are 2 bus patrollers actively on duty on each bus, a front patroller and a rear bus patroller. The rear bus patroller sits next to the emergency door in case of an evacuation. The rear bus patroller assists on the bus by helping to make sure students stay seated and aisles remain clear at all times. The front bus patroller exits at each stop to assist students off the bus. When returning to a bus stop at the end of the school day, and if the bus stop is on the opposite side of the street, the front bus patroller leads the students off the bus, staying off the roadway, going 10 giant steps in front of the bus. When children are too close to the front of the bus, they are in the bus driver's blind spot, meaning the driver cannot see them. Keep the children behind you. Continue to check for traffic and then look at the bus driver for a signal that it's safe to cross. After receiving the signal, lead the children across the street, continuing to check for traffic. All school bus patrollers are responsible for helping the driver keep order on the bus and keeping the bus aisles clear. The patroller should also watch to make sure students do not have their head, arms, or legs out any windows. All students, including the bus patrollers, should remain seated and should never be walking around the bus when the bus is moving. After the last person has exited the bus, be sure to help the driver check for any students who may have stayed on the bus. You want to ensure everyone made it off the bus safely. In emergency evacuations, the front bus patroller should exit the bus first and assist students to a safe area away from traffic. If an evacuation is necessary, the rear bus patroller opens the door, exits, assists other students off the bus, and directs them to a safe area away from traffic.
Obey my teachers and officers of the patrol. Report dangerous student practices.
Reporting dangerous student practices is also an important duty and responsibility for a AAA school safety patroller at any post. Report only dangerous student practices. A good patroller can take care of minor problems themselves. However, remember to never be bossy. Being a AAA school safety patroller is a privilege, and part of that privilege means being a good leader and treating others with respect. And don't forget, patrollers are also role models for younger children. If a dangerous practice is committed deliberately or repeatedly while you're at your post, you should report the problem to your patrol officer and your patrol advisor, or another adult. The report should always be in writing for proper record keeping. The duties you perform each day as a AAA safety patroller help keep your classmates safe and protect them from injury. Annually, AAA honors patrollers who have saved the life of a fellow classmate while on duty. You never know if you may have to perform such an action. Chances are you won't, but it's important to know and to understand that just by your presence, by wearing your patrol uniform and correctly performing the duties you've learned, you're protecting your classmates and saving them from potential injuries each and every day. They rely on you to help keep them safe.
Strive to earn the respect of fellow students.
You do that every day by faithfully being at your post.